Good afternoon, friends, followers, channel members. Another Friday is upon us. Happy Friday. The weekend is almost here, and we have got an awesome flight for you today. From Manchester down to Mahon in Menorca. Thought we'd go somewhere with a bit of a holiday vibe for our weekend today. Now, before I go any further, those of you who were watching our last Real Ops live stream where we were showing off the wonderful London Stansted Airport, recently released by Innerbuilds, that was an epic stream. It was incredibly busy. And whilst we were stuck in all the holds and negotiating stuff with air traffic control, checking our fuel, that kind of stuff, I believe it was Elliot, I'm not sure if Elliot's in the chat, but Elliot conjured up and spent his hard gambled Easyjet points on a failure. Now obviously we were a bit of a critical stage of the flight, so the failure couldn't be carried out at that point, particularly with how busy it was on VATSIM that night. So I made a promise that the failure would definitely take place in the next flight and live stream that we do, and here it is. So a Real Ops flight. Hopefully we're going to get you and our virtual passengers down to Menorca for a bit of summer sun and relaxation. But anything could happen. Now, I did see someone in the chat asking, wonder what the failure will be. I can't tell you, not because I don't want to, because I don't know. It will be a random failure. So it could be something like an engine flame out, you know, something sort of semi-serious. Or it could be something like a rad-alt failure, which in this particular time of the year is not going to cause us too many issues. So, yeah, it's all going to be completely randomized for both my surprise and yours. So welcome, guys. Hope you are all doing well. I've just realized I've not put the operational flight plan. Here it is. Let me just pop that into the chat, then you guys have got that today. So 1 second. I will get that in for you. And it's a decent length flight as well. It's about 2.5 hours if you're going to stay with us for the duration. So that should now be pinned into the top of the chat if you're watching on YouTube. And yeah, so a great way to spend a Friday afternoon. Welcome on board, everybody. I've seen you all coming in, getting your seats for the afternoon. Good afternoon then to Inot Panda Liana, Mr. Victoria 26. Hello, hey Pedro, hey Wrong Way, hey Captain Matt Russell, Hermo, the legend Dark Fury, he's here as well. James Cox, Mona Lima, Captain Matt Russell, hello to you. Wally is here as well. Good morning to you, Wally. Hope you're doing well. Hope the flight's not too heavy given the recent well, we've simulated something like that before, haven't we? Where we needed to take extra fuel for whatever reason, so some passengers were left behind. Never a good thing. No one ever wants to offload passengers because that's not a happy day for anybody, is it? Hey Mike, Planes for Life, good afternoon. DC's here too as well. Captain Q, hope you're doing well, guys. Thank you so much. And the Chill Out Flight channel is celebrating 60 months of Captain Level channel membership. That is awesome. Thank you so much, Chill Out. Hope you're having a great weekend lined up for you as well. Okay, and to those of you watching on Twitch, good afternoon as well. Apologies if I've missed anybody out on that. Hopefully I haven't, but apologies if I do. But as I said, we're going to have plenty of time on our live stream this afternoon to be able to chat, because it is quite a long flight time, so plenty of time to go. So we need to start, as always, then with our wonderful operational flight plan and our sort of brief to get going. So, about 14 tons of payload today. I was going to say 14 tons of passengers. That would be a bit cruel, wouldn't it? But yeah, 14 tons of, well, 14.2 tons of payload. Takeoff weight is already above max landing weight. Landing weight looks to be about 61 ton. Barcelona is the alternate. Makes sense. Nice big airport for if something goes wrong. We know we're going to be safe there. Easy 85 Hotel Golf, cost index of 45370. Got a bit of a headwind tonight as well. Shear rate looks fine. FPOC, that's nice and low, so that's going to be okay. There's our flight routing: 23 right, Samba 1 Romeo departure, and the Sargo 3 Bravo arrival into Mahon runway 01. Plug fuel is 8.6. Let's go check all the stuff that we need to do. So just flipping through the through here, there we can see a bit of terrain coming in about an hour and a half into the flight as we approach Barcelona. So just something to be mindful of when we get down there. And oh, that's what I like to see. Well, yes, it is, and it's great weather in terms of visibility and sailing, that's fine, but currently the crosswind in Menorca is getting up to about 13 knots, which isn't really a problem, but in the Fenix aircraft it can be a little bit twitchy. So yeah, we'll see what happens when we get down there. But yeah, other than that, they're all fine. All the alternates are fine as well. Let's have a look at the forecast for Menorca then. So what's today's date? It is the 7th. So winds are 6015, few clouds 2000. This is the forecast, so probability there. A small probability of some thunderstorms and CBs at around 10,000 feet. And again, just the chance of those winds getting up to a gust of 25. So that wind does have a potential to be going to be even stronger crosswind as well, and there's a more increased chance of that actually getting up to a gusts of about 30 knots. So that will die down in the early hours of tomorrow morning. So could be a bit of a windy approach as well. Failures, windy approaches, could be a fun stream. Checking out Barcelona, that looks like things are much calmer there, as it does actually for Valencia. Ibiza too doesn't look too bad, and of course we've got Mallorca not too far away as well. And the weather here in Manchester is glorious at the moment. Looks like it's going to get a bit windy tonight though. That shouldn't affect us there. Right, that is our flight routing, complete with the alternates listed as well. Captain Q, will we be doing hot weather operations? We'll see what the weather is like when we get down there. Bear in mind, it's not hot enough for hot weather operations here in Manchester. Right, oh there you go, look, there's some isolated embedded CBs getting up to 40,000 feet, and then also through the descent you can see it could potentially be a little bit choppy as we go down. So worth briefing the cabin crew. They're probably going to get that cabin service started ended well before we go down, unless passengers maybe throwing drinks over themselves. I'm sure it won't be that bad. And there's that terrain we spoke of as well. So what extra fuel are we going to take? Probably don't need that much, to be honest. The wind is well within our limitations. There's no reason to think that we're not going to get in for any reason. But with some CBs to avoid, a bit of icing potentially as well. 9 tons looks like a safe bet. So we don't actually need that much more due to weather. It's not like there's forecast. In fact, was there a forecast of thunderstorms potentially? We'll just have a quick look at that. A very small chance that thunderstorms and those CBs could be around. So, all right, we can afford to just take a little bit more fuel on there. So let's go. Let's take 9.4. Then we know we're covered. We'll take 9.4 tons. So, in the event that those thunderstorms do occur, we can sit in the hold, wait till they pass, and then we're good. So. With that then, that means extra, we're going to be taking an extra 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, about an extra 700 700 kilograms of fuel. So that makes our landing weight around 61.7. So let's do a dispatch calculation. Let's base it on 62 tons coming in. Let's do our dispatch landing calculation now. So that's LEMH runway 01. Let's apply the weather. We're going to base that, as I've just said, on 62 tons and dry conditions. Okay, yeah, so we can get in at that. If for some reason it was raining, we can still get in as well. If it was really raining, looks like we could still get in there too. That's flaps 4, of course. If we go flaps 3, yeah, so potentially flaps 3 might be out if we're that heavy, but I've rounded that up. I've been conservative, so this is the dispatch landing calculations. Once we're airborne, that's thrown out the window, and we do our own once we're there. Okay, so we're happy with that. We know what fuel we're going to take. Let's just quickly look through the charts. I mean, it's Manchester this, so nothing too out of the ordinary for us. Our jet is currently parked stand 21. There it is, right in the corner. And we'll just taxi out normally, I guess. Lima, Papa and Kilo. If we could take Mike 1 as well, I think, tonight. Full length, obviously, Juliet, if needed. But yeah, Mike 1 would be good. Anything to check on the Samba 1 Romeo departure? Nope. It's a great little departure, this. It's always a takeoff and a little bit of an immediate turn, 3 miles from the Manchester VOR, and then we're all the way back around to Talby. No speed restrictions. That's the important thing. So it means we can just clean up and go as we do. Just realised you can't see Navigraph. There we go. So that's yeah. There we go. That's the picture. Okay, I think that's more or less everything we need to do before we get in the into the aircraft. So let's go find our aircraft, and we'll get in, and we'll let you guys on board. So here we are, sat at Manchester. We do have VATSIM running, of course, and we've also got, I think we've got some ATIS. Yes, we do. So I'll just grab the ATIS information actually while I'm here. Something you can do as well in the real pilot briefing room, because you can just listen to it on the phone as well. So currently we've got information Foxtrot from ATC. QNH is 1014, and single runway operations are currently in use using 23 right. Excellent. Okay then, with that, let's go get on board. Right, so here we are, our aircraft in its turnaround stage as normal. So we'll just do the normal flows and things and checks after we take over from a new crew. So just check nav logo lights, they are on. Spoilers, flaps, parking brake, acupressure, that's fine as well. Because I was flying the ATR yesterday, I just want to check my thrust levers are all synced up and working. Yeah, there we are, it is fine. Good stuff. Right, well, I think we should probably start getting people on then, shouldn't we? So if we tell GSX they can begin boarding, we'll open the doors, and we'll tell the crew that we're good to go. Then we'll set the box up.
Cabin crew, refueling is underway and the bags are starting to get loaded, so let's open the doors and allow our passengers on board. Thank you.
Hey, Elliot is here, don't you worry, guys. It's Elliot. No, mate, I'm quite happy to see what happens today. It might be something minor. It might be something awful. Who knows? Who knows? Right. So, do we have a jetway here at this gate? Oh no, we don't. Oh wow. Okay, neat. No jetway for us today. Mind you, that makes sense. It's Easyjet, isn't it? they don't want to have to pay extra money for a jetway. Alright, QNH 1014, that's fine. Guard frequency, that's fine. They're off. Squawking on standby 2000. Get the constraints on QNH 1014. Happy with the lighting, etc. Pumps and packs are off. That's fine as well. Okay, time to set up the box. Looks like we've got a company message, so that'll be our preliminary load sheet. Alright, so let's go to our data page. IRS, we've got 3.5 greens, that's fine. Aircraft status, that's fine as well. CFM engines, right, air recital, okay. Init request, just pull that in. Inopan, how do you get the stand number ahead of you? I think that isn't that just part of the scenery, the Mako simulation scenery for us today. Alright, there we go. So, flight number is Easy85 Hotel Golf. Costing index of 4. Ground temperature is plus 24. It's the warmest day today in the UK that it has been for a couple of weeks. Let's just get the tropicals from my operational flight plan.
I'm doing good.
That is 37035, so yeah, a little bit lower. Scrap the winds. IRS in it, 5321.7 north to 16.5 west, that's fine for stand 21. Cruise altitude today is flight level 370, temperature is 54. And flight plan, so we've said it's going to be 23 right, Sample 1 Romeo, And then at the other end, it's the ILS, I think it's the ILS Yankee actually, ILS Yankee 01. That's coming in on the Sargo 3 Bravo arrival. Where are you? That's the one. Coming in via Bellevue. So operational flight plan's got 909 miles, 910 miles in the box, that's perfect. So Radnav page, the Mike Charlie Tango VOR, and also Priestley Pole Hill VOR just to the north of the field, because if anything goes wrong that's a great place to hold, particularly if you've only got raw data. So that's fine as well. Enter in the init B page, and I now need our preliminary low sheet. Can we get pre-departure clearance here? Don't think we can. If we can, it's not advertised, so we'll not do that. Hey William, hope you're doing well. Captain Q, do I have the table clamp for the thrust mat? No, I don't. I just happen to have a table that's about the right size. Yeah. So, received messages. Let's just check what we got. Load sheet. Zero fuel weight is 58.2. C of G is going to be 31.5. Fuel for the alternate, which is up into Barcelona, it's 1.5 ton. And let's go with fuel planning. So the ground crew loading 9.4 tons. And what does the box say? 8.3. Yeah, that's loads extra, isn't it? So that's the takeoff weight, then is 67.4. And the takeoff CFG is 29.3. Okay, let's grab our performance calculator and we'll work out our departure. So it is dry, 23 right, flaps 1. All of those off. What was that takeoff weight? 674 and 29.3. And intersection Mike 2567. Just check that's accurate. 23 right from Mike 2567. That's fine. So that's valid. We can use these figures then. Okay, so onto the perf page, we've got 139, 140, and 142. Clean 220, flaps 1 and flex is 61. Wonderful. Okay, let's grab SimSmart for our thrust reduction, acceleration values, and engine out procedure. And again, it really doesn't matter what we're popping here, does it? Because this is for the Neo. There we go. 1249, 1249. That's fine. And standard engine out procedure here. So, new SOPs. We knocked a couple hundred off this now, so that's going to be 1049. And engine out acceleration also 1049. There we go. Okay, on to our secondary flight plan then. So, copy the active. Create our E-out SID. Paste that off. Echo Golf Charlie Charlie. Manchester's runway 23 right. Straight out on runway track, which is 231. 231. We'll pop that out 15 miles. Store that. Okay, so secondary flight plan. Pop in the engine out SID waypoint. And then from there, it's right turn to the Mersey. enter the hold, and that is 061. Right turns. And then if we've entered the hold at Mersey, we'll be coming back to Manchester. And that's going to be arriving single runway operations as they are. That's runway 23 right, no start, no veer. And just check what all that looks like, make sure it's correct. Oh, where on earth is that? That's not right. Oh, Mersey's still spelled wrong, isn't it? It should be M-I-R-S-I. We've got the wrong waypoint in there. Right, okay. Let me just clear that. Clear that. Zero 61, right turns. There we go. We've got discontinuity there, that's fine. We'll leave that in. Check that there. There we go. Right turn. There's Mersey, the actual real hold. There we go. Tutor, you can only calculate full length with SimSmart. What you need to do is you need to go to File, go to Options, and here where it says the application uses full runway, do you want to enable the option of manual entering runway length? So click to yes to that, and then you can use full runway. So there we go. Okay, let's get rid of that. That looks good. I think we're pretty much all done with regards to our setup. So we'll contact ATC and then we'll get the brief done. So air traffic control frequency. Oops. It's annoying when I'm scrolling out on one page and it decides to do it on the second page. What frequency do we need? It's 12185. Manchester ground, good afternoon, Easy 85 Hotel Golf, stand 2-1, type A320 requesting IFR clearances filed, and we have information Foxtrot.
Easyjet Hotel Golf, Manchester ground for the information Foxtrot is now, is correct, sorry. The clearance is to Mahon, Samba 1 Romeo departure, squawk 2223.
Cleared by the Samba 1 Romeo and squawk 2223 for Easyjet 5 Hotel Golf.
Easyjet 5 Hotel Golf, your back is correct.
Let's get the squawk in. Awesome, so everything that we've got in the box is what we've been given as well. So let's do the brief, starting with the weather as usual. Just bring this up on here, then you guys have also get it then to see on screen. So brief with the weather. Winds 160 at 1/4, so that's going to be, it's a very, very slight tailwind, but it's also varying as well. So basically the wind's going to be coming from the left, but it's not too heavy today. Visibility is 10 kilometers or more. Broken 4,800, so anti-ice not going to be required. 24 degrees, again anti-ice not required. QNH is 1014. Weather en route is fine. The weather on the arrival, we can just perhaps expect some sea breeze once we get towards the south of Spain, and might need to avoid those on the way down. A little bit of icing and potentially turbulent arrival as well, coming into and descending into Menorca, Mahon. So should be fine for the first couple of hours of the flight. Aircraft is A320, full serviceable with the exception of the weather radar as per usual. No node times that are going to affect us here in Manchester today. Threats to be aware of in Manchester, not really too many. We know we've got the Pennines to the east of the airport, but they're going to be behind us as we depart, so that's pretty fine. We've got air traffic control around as well. We're very familiar with Manchester Airport, so shouldn't get lost. The taxi we are expecting is from stand 21. So we'll push back straight out, and then it's going to be facing south on Lima Kilo, and then we can depart Mike 1. There's not much traffic around. It's not the longest of taxis, quite a few turns, so we're going to get both engines started. No single engine taxi for us today. The departure then itself is straight out with the right turn 3 miles from the Mike Charlie Tango. It's a nice on-nav departure, so do you know what? We can get the autopilot in, and we'll let autopilot do its thing. I'll get the autopilot on not before 760, because then I can just hand fly the aircraft nice and straight. Once we're above 760, then we'll let the autopilot dictate when it wants to go ahead and make those turns flying the departure. Engine climb is 5,000 feet, and there's no speed restrictions, so yeah, just leave everything set in managed mode, and we'll clean up and accelerate away on schedule. So 5,000 feet, let's get that set as well. So that's done. So going through the box then, we've got 23 right confirmed, Samba 1 Romeo confirmed, Radnav page 1 Mike Charlie Tango on the Pole Hill to the north, flight over 370 is planned, optimum is 34, max is 371, so we might not be able to get up to 37 straight away, so a bit of a step climb plan today. Flight level 340, we'll go 35 then initially, I think. Yeah, flight level 350, that should be fine. Our takeoff weight is planned to be 67.4. V speeds 139, 140, 142, clean 220. It's a flaps 1 departure, we're flexing 6 to 1, and thrust reduction is about 1,000 feet, as is engine out procedure and acceleration. Secondary flight plan has the engine out procedure in it. So let's just quickly speak about the engine out procedure. It's standard here. So pull heading if anything happens after V1, and then once we've shut down that engine, secured it, and we're above 1,800 feet, that's when we can clean up and accelerate away to our holding point Mersey, right turn to Mersey, and we'll get above MSA at 4,000 feet. MSA for our departure, by the way, is 2,400 feet. Okay, let's see how we're doing. I think everyone's on board actually, so we can probably close the doors and get that APU started. Oh, there we go. That was the signal from crew that we're done. Let's get that APU up and running then.
Hi Gavin, all the passengers are on board and we're ready to go. I'll bring you a cup of tea after we've taken off.
Great stuff, thank you very much.
I don't know about a cup of tea, I could do with a cold drink. It's getting warm in here. Hey Top Gun, happy Friday. Right, company message has been sent through. Let's check that out once that APU starts up. Let's see if there's any LMCs.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck this morning, let me welcome you on board this Easyjet aircraft as you settle in for what we hope is going to be a most enjoyable flight. The weather today doesn't look to be posing much of a problem, so we should have a nice smooth ride for you throughout the duration of the flight. And as the cabin crew continue making their last preparations, if you could please assist them by getting yourselves sat down, your seatbelts fastened, and make yourselves nice and comfortable. The ground crew have now finished loading the aircraft, and we're just about finished with all our pre-flight checks, so it won't be long until we are pushing back. If you could please give the cabin crew your full attention as they go through the safety briefing, we'd very much appreciate it. So on behalf of myself and the first officer, we'd like to say thank you for choosing Easyjet today, and we look forward to giving you a safe flight.
Okay, ground crew, you can now remove the GPU, chocks and cones. APU is running, powering the aircraft. We'll get the ground crew into position and we're about to go. Tell the cabin crew that we're about ready to push.
Cabin crew, please arm doors and cross-check.
And the cockpit preparation checklist. So aircraft acceptance has been completed. Fuel quantity is 9.4 tons. Seatbelt signs are on. Ideas got 3.5 green and barrel ref QNH 1014 set, cross-checked, and 250 feet. Let's ping over onto the ground frequency then whilst they get into position. Yeah, Here he comes.
So could you just repeat that for me again? Shuttle 3 Papa.
Ready for pushback.
Shuttle 3 Papa. No worries if not, but you're able to accept Mike 1 for departure. Yes, no problem. Shuttle 3 Papa. Shuttle 3 Papa, thanks. It'll be Mike 1, runway 2 for right. You can taxi via Juliet and Mike. Taxi to Mike 1 via Juliet, Mike, Shuttle 3 Papa.
Bypass pin inserted.
Easy 85 Hotel Golf, stand 2-1. We're ready for push and start.
Easy 85 Hotel Golf, stand 2-1. You're pushing start through if you can face east on Lima.
Push start approved, and we can face, just confirm east on Lima.
A-firm, strap.
Right, we're at GSX going to push us, that's more important.
Top Jet 93 November,
There we
stand
go.
50, requesting pushback and start. Project 9, 3 November, stand 50, your push and start is approved.
Booking gear.
Push and start approved, Project 9, 3 November.
Okay, before start checklist, parking brake is on, takeoff data has been confirmed, windows are closed, EFB is on flight mode, doors are closed, now they're armed, and beacon light is on.
Release parking brakes, please.
And parking brakes released.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
Nozzle steering is disconnected, start the time engine mode selected to ignition, and starting engine 1. Ooh, that's warm. Just give that another 30 seconds, get the packs on.
Shuttle 3 Papa, unfortunately got nothing further for you now. 1 Unicom now, 122 decimal 8, good afternoon. 122 decimal 8 for Shuttle 3 Papa, thanks for service, bye bye.
Thanks then, I forgot about the overlay. Not that it wasn't working, I'd just not even
Ladies and gentlemen,
set
we
it
now
up.
ask for your attention while we take you through the safety procedures on this aircraft. A safety card is in your seat pocket showing the exit routes, oxygen masks, life jackets and brace position that you must adopt if you hear brace, brace. There are 2
Select 6
emergency
Juliet,
exits at the
confirm
rear,
23
4
rapid
in the
departure.
middle, and 2
A-firm 2 for right, select 6 Juliet. Roger.
Floor lighting will guide you to an exit. Please be aware that your nearest exit may be behind you. In an emergency, leave all cabin baggage on board. Your seatbelt is fastened, adjusted, and released as shown.
Please
It
set
must be
parking brakes.
fastened when the seatbelt signs are on.
Parking
and we
brakes set.
recommend that you keep it fastened at all times.
Start. You can disconnect.
If the air supply
Unlocking
fails,
gear.
masks will drop from above you. Pull a
And
mask
starting
towards
engine
you
2.
to start the oxygen. Put the mask over your nose and mouth. Hold in place with the strap. Pull on each side to adjust. Put on your own mask before helping others. If we land on water, take the life jacket from under your seat. Put it over your head. Pass the tapes around your waist. Click together and pull the strap to adjust. Do not inflate it inside the aircraft. When outside, inflate by pulling the toggle. If it fails to inflate or needs topping up, blow into the tube. There is a light and whistle for attracting attention.
Tow truck
We
disconnected.
also carry
Bypass pin
flotation
removed.
aids for children. Your tray table must now
Left
be
is clear,
stowed,
right is
armrests
clear.
down, window blinds open, and seatbelt fastened. We wish you a
So just put the
pleasant
pack
flight
floor on
on
high.
EasyJet.
It's very, very warm in that cabin today. Let's just try and cool that down as best we can. It's 35 degrees in this flight deck. Pilots will be sweating through their shirts. Right, engine number 2's happy. So, engine mode selectors back to ignition. APU bleed off, APU master off, anti-ice of course not required, and spoilers, rudder, flaps. Set our trim. If I can see the arrow. think, yep, ground crew's clear and disappeared. So after start checklist, anti-ice is off, ECAM status is checked, pitch trim is 28.3 and the rudder is neutral. So just do a quick flight control check while we're here and stationary. Full left, full right, neutral, full up, full down.
Echo and November Charlie. 204 Alpha Delta, Echo November Charlie, subject 4, leaving November, thank you.
Subjet 93 November, ready for taxi.
Subject 93 November, taxi for point Juliet 1, runway 2, free right to fire Golf and Juliet.
Did we have a bit of an issue with the stream there?
Taxi on point Juliet 1 by Golf and Juliet, subjet 93 November.
Bit strange. Anyway, let's go. I seem to have lost some frame rates though. Okay, quick pets check. So, no change to our performance, no LMCs. Departure via Mach 1 dry conditions still valid for us. Engine procedure is standard, straight out, and then once above 1900 we can accelerate away, clean up and get to our holding point at Mersey, holding 4000. Departure is Samba 1 Romeo, straight out, no turns below 760, and I'll get the autopilot on after that to fly the first little turn to the right and then back to the left, etc. And the stop climb is 5000.
Manchester Green Fenix 1 Charlie, I had to disconnect, but we've changed our destination with Golf QNH1014. Stand number 5, 737-800, clearance to Corfu this time.
Elliot, I hope a Hun update hasn't started in the
Select 1 Charlie,
background.
no worries, you clearance to Corfu.
That would be annoying.
Next one, Romeo departure, squawk 2041.
Clearance to Corfu, select on Romeo, squawk 2041.
Select 1 Charlie, reback is correct. Subject 9, 3 November, unfortunately got nothing else for you. Come on, as Unicom now 122, decimal 8, good afternoon.
Roger Unicom 122, decimal 8, flight space service tonight, subjet 93 November.
Right, once we get on the long taxiway down here, then we'll run the taxi checklist. Okay, so flight controls have been checked, flap settings config 1, FMA, climb nav blue, 1 FD2, 5000. Radar prediction is on, ECAM memo, got takeoff no blue, EFB is stowed, we'll get that disconnected. Throw that one out the window. There we go. So if you are just joining us both on Twitch and YouTube, hey guys, welcome. We are about to depart Manchester, headed for Menorca, Mahon, and we will have a failure on today's flight. It will be a random failure, so I don't know what it will be. And open the window, give the spotters a wave. Yeah, sadly I can't. They do that when they use runway 05, because they taxi right past the viewing part here at Manchester. I suppose you'd have to open the window and just wave to everyone drinking in the beer garden at the pub, which is an absolutely brilliant place to visit when they're using runway 23 right for departure.
Easyjet 5, Hotel Golf, no further ATC is available, unfortunately. Unicom now 122, decimal 8, Golf and entry flight.
Oh, Unicom, thank you for the service. Easy85 Hotel Golf.
Subject 4, Lima November, our stand is occupied.
Nothing he can do about that.
3 miles, less 23 right, fully established.
So aircraft on final, we've got what looks like a TUI Dreamliner, also waiting for departure. He's going full length. In fact, that's dark, isn't it, I think? Manchester Traffic Easyjet 5 Hotel Golf is holding Mike 1 for runway 23 right departure. Yeah, I know, I was thinking that. I mean, usually what they do as well is they'd always try and get the smaller aircraft out first because the wake turbulence doesn't affect the large aircraft. I'm going to try, Dark. If I sneak in front of you, it'll be a quicker departure, I reckon. Wow, I've frozen the cabin. It's about 18 degrees in there. Captain Q, will we do a failure and divert to an alternate? I have no idea, Captain Q, because I don't know what it's going to be. Like. Movie battle, yeah, indeed. Boarding time. There will be a failure, so you're now sitting next to an exit, just in case. Sounds like a good idea. That looks neat. Where's this guy come from? It's a Dreamliner, so I imagine him sort of like flying all night from Cancun or something like that. Manchester Traffic Easy 85 Hotel Golf landing over Mike 1 Romeo on 2-3 right. Thank you, Dark.
Manchester Traffic, Tom Jet 4, Kilo Yankee 5 miles, ILS 23 right, minimum approach speed.
Manchester Traffic Easy 5 Hotel Golf is landing on now runway 23 right and will expire at departure.
Manchester Traffic, Tom Jet 20 Tango Vacate, T3 right, Manchester.
So line up checklist, cabin secure, take off runway by Mike 1, runway 23 right, TKCR, Apex 1 and 2 are off. Do a nice rolling takeoff as well. Elliot, as if I made you purchase it. Cheeky.
Manchester Traffic, Tom Jet 93 November, after the landing company traffic will line up to be right.
Okay, and take off. Start the chrono. 50% M1. Engine stable, set takeoff thrust. Maniflex SRS runway. So wind's coming in from the left at the moment, aren't they?
100 knots.
Checked. V1, rotate. Nav.
Positive right. Gear up.
Gear up. Okay, we're above the altitude we said, so autopilot 1 engaged. We've missed the viewing part.
Manchester Traffic, Tom Jet 72 Mike, fully established from the 23 right, 23 right, Indiana, Manchester.
Thrust climb. Climb. Feels a little bumpy today.
Manchester Tom Jet 4, Kilo Yankee vacated.
Manchester traffic, Tom Jet 93 November, immediate takeoff to the right.
That's S speed. Let's clean her up. And we've got no ATC around, so let's go direct Samba. So direct Samba now, and with that no ATC, we'll give ourselves a initial climb flight level 200. So open climb 200 blue. I know, Panda, reason for starting the chrono before takeoff. The main reason is so you know how long your engines have been running after departure. So you can only use Toga for a maximum of 5 minutes, or single engine 10 minutes. But then I leave the chrono running even after that, because then it just helps with
Manchester traffic,
flight
Tom
progress.
4 Bravo Kilo, 20 miles up to 3 right.
See you later, Jayhawk. Hey, Relic.
Manchester traffic, Tom Jet 70 make 4 mile final, runway 23 right.
MSFS forever. Hello, welcome. It is a bit bumpy, isn't it? Okay, so spoilers, flaps, gear, and let's do the lights then. Don't need those on. The cabin crew. If everyone's going away to Menorca on holiday, they're definitely going to want some drinks, so we'll get those sorted now for you. And yeah, that's it. We are indeed on our way. So flight time is about 2 hours. 2 hours. Let's have a look. What time are we going to land? At the moment, it suggests 16:43. That's UTC time. So yeah, plenty of time to relax and enjoy the flight and chat. Of course, we do know a failure is coming.
Ladies and gentlemen, please keep your seatbelt fastened while the seatbelt sign is on. We recommend that you keep your seatbelt fastened whenever you are seated. Toilets are located at each end of the cabin. Remember that smoking is not permitted at any time. This includes e-cigarettes.
Gorgeous skies over the UK today, aren't they? Absolutely beautiful. Tim, when will the failure be enabled? We'll probably be at cruise. That's what we tend to do. Let's get to cruise, and then we decide what's going to happen. Right, that's 10,000 feet. So airports on there. See RadNav page. We can clear those out. Don't need those anymore. Progress page. We set flight level 350. Actually, 350 is now the optimum. So we might as well go up to that. So we'll get set flight level 350. Make sure that's open climb. Yep, 350 blue. And secondary flight plan. Copy the active. And cost index of 0.
Manchester traffic, Tom Jet 70 make vacated runway 23 right. Manchester.
Dark Fury, you're hoping for a fuel.
And ground just gone offline.
Nice.
Thanks for the heads up.
Honor, good afternoon. Is age a barrier to getting into aviation? I think it used to be, but I think employment laws and things like that now, you can't sort of be age discriminist at all, can you? The biggest barrier is going to be how long you're going to work for in order to sort of like get a decent pension, because you have to retire early. I think is it 55 you have to stop flying commercially, so you obviously need to have had long enough time to have earned a sort of decent pension with an airline, and depending on how you've gone through your training, obviously pay it off as well. So
Manchester traffic, Tom Jet 4 Bravo Kilo on 4 mile final for 23 right.
if you've got the cash to sort of self-fund it, I mean, how lucky you would be if you had, then age isn't really so much of a barrier than if you haven't, kind of thing.
has now been turned off. You are now free to move around the cabin and the toilets are now available. However, when in your seat, we recommend that you keep your seatbelt fastened at all times in case of unexpected turbulence. Please contact a member of the cabin crew if you require assistance. Thank you.
In case of unexpected failures. Anna, can the 320 jet some fuel? No, it can't. No. So, oh, sorry. Not sure if it can. No, it cannot jet some fuel. And Elliot. So, there you are.
Manchester traffic from Jet 17 make taxi stand at 107 outside Delta Airport and North Manchester.
This is an awesome way to spend a Friday afternoon. I love doing stuff like this. A nice longish flight. Not everyone likes sort of long flights in airliners, but for me, I love it. It's just that sense of accomplishment and, you know, trying to do things in the sim as close to the real world as possible. And as we enter the climb, wow, that is incredible. Mark has gifted 10 Easyjet Sim Pilot channel memberships, our first 10 new members of the channel on today's stream. Mark, that is incredible stuff. Really generous of you as well. Thank you so much for your support, Mark. A long-time supporter of the channel as well, and channel member. So welcome to Mark, Peter, Mike, Audit, Adam, James, Maxwell, and George. Welcome so much, guys. West Castle Model Railway as well, and also Matt. Awesome stuff, Mark. Really do appreciate that. You couldn't hear that. I have just heard a really loud noise in my headphones, and I wondered what the hell was that. It's actually the It's the washing machine next door, just entering the spin cycle. I thought something had broken, and I'd not triggered the failure yet. So guys, new channel members, welcome. Thank you so much again, Mark. Get yourselves into the members lounge as well if you're on our Discord, and check out the members only live streams as well that we've done. I think we need to do another one of those as well recently. It's been 2 or 3 weeks since I last crashed the aircraft. Orlando Spotter says his washing machine just takes off. Surprised it doesn't say V1 rotate. Well, it does rotate, I guess. The great thing about random failures with within the Fenix aircraft and Microsoft Flight Simulator is they can be serious or they could just be nuisance things. Like, one of the flight computers can conk out and break, which sounds really serious, doesn't it? But you know, you've got another two backing it up. And in true Airbus style, the way to fix that is to turn it off and turn it back on again, and usually you'll be okay. Mike, you've got 33 points. Does anyone want to share a water? Well, about 20 miles from Honolulu. This is quite cool as well. So, something you can do to check that your aircraft alignment is all working correctly. If you go to your RadNav page, if we typed in Honolulu here, what you can see here, if we type that in, is, I'll just turn this on. There we go. So that's currently showing that Honolulu is 15.5, 15.4, 15.3 nautical miles away. Well, have a look at the top right hand corner. It actually says there that it's 40. So there's a discrepancy there, isn't there? About what? Half a mile maybe? We can also go to our progress page, type in Honolulu just there. And that says 12 miles. Now, hang on, are all three of those wrong? They're all differing. Might not just be updating the sim quite at the same time. So, what you've got down here, this is raw data. And what I mean by raw data is this is an actual radio received data that you're getting just here. What you're getting here is GPS data. So sometimes there is a discrepancy between the two, and ideally what you need to do is if there's a a big discrepancy or a nav downgrade, you can update the aircraft position. I don't know if you can do that in the Fenix page. I'd have to double check, but yeah, I'm not sure you can actually update it. In the real aircraft you can update the position if there is a discrepancy. But yeah, just thought I'd point that out. So the main thing to take away from that is this is raw data. This is what you get. This is essentially just like tuning a VOR like you would do in a Cessna or something like that. This, however, is all based upon your GPS data, where your aircraft thinks it is. Hey, Captain KV. Photochromax, the Fenix should also ask for a failure level when a random is selected. So it does, doesn't it? Because it asks if you, when your failures, with your random failures, do you want them selected to minor, or do you want them selected to all? Which basically, minor is something that shouldn't be flight breaking. All, of course, potentially could be. So yeah. Right, what are we at? We're at 2028. Hey, El Chocolate. Good to see you. Mahon is a great destination. Yeah, I think we've only ever been there once. So nice to do this. Nice to do this again. Someone's just asked in the chat on YouTube, is there 2 Legend Dark Furies? Dear God, I hope not. David Butler, what do we do with the points? You can, if you type in exclamation mark and then type in menu, it'll give you a list of things you can do with them. This is the reason we've got a failure today, because Elliot purchased a failure with his points. Dark Fury has purchased a flight request, so at some point in the future, when I've got time, we're going to be off to Dubai, which will be neat. That's going to be a long flight. That's going to be one of our long haul flights, which we don't do too often. So I think Eurocontrol West is online. I'm not sure. I thought they might have pinged us yet, because I think we fall under. Do we fall under Eurocontrol West, or is Great Britain not part of it? I thought it was. 13575. Gives us a bit of ATC chatter as well, doesn't it?
Hello, Sid. Overseeing from 126.8 but 469. I think it's over.
Have a good weekend. Easy 649 service 78. Restrictions approval by.
Eurocontrol, good afternoon, Easy 85 Hotel Golf is passing flight level 310, requesting flight level 350 inbound Kidley.
Easy 85 Hotel Golf calling.
Easy 85 Hotel Golf.
Hey, I found you, but you're in London airspace, not in mine. London does not seem to be active, so Unicom for now. Have a good flight.
Unicom, and we'll speak to you soon. Easy 85 Hotel Golf. Okay, they clearly don't cover Great Britain. Never mind, I thought they did. No, why they don't.
Alpha over the descent.
Lana says gambling can ultimately allow you to generate misery for me. That's why he does it. Timo, Dark Fury and I have discussed what kind of flight we're going to do, when we're going to do it, and that kind of thing. The problem is waiting for the A380. We could be waiting another 2 years. We could do the Aerosoft release flight, couldn't we? Plenty of A330s flying to Dubai. That could be kind of neat. Stephen Worrell, good afternoon. What's my opinion on Microsoft Flight Simulator on Xbox? I don't have it on Xbox, but I could quite happily just sit, if I'd not got kids that spoil my free time, I could quite happily sit there in front of the big TV upstairs and just fly around VFR, enjoying the flights, that kind of stuff. I couldn't do proper airliner flying on an Xbox. I couldn't get my head around that. But I certainly could enjoy a bit of VFR flying on there. I think that's where it would be most useful. Welcome, Kimmer. Thank you for the follow on Twitch. Ross F, good afternoon. Hope you're doing well. Right, we're nearly over London. Captain KV, we've flown the Headwind quite a bit on this channel. Great aircraft. In fact, that was the last long haul flight we did, wasn't it? We did Heathrow to JFK. That was an awesome day. We started really early, and it was busy all day. Literally, the 7 hours flew by. Pardon the pun. I think we've got London Heathrow down there. Okay, we're nearly at our top of climb. Just looking, I've got no other contrails in the sky today. I'm trying to work out if that's because of the atmospheric conditions or is there no other passengers around. No other people flying around. Hey Flight X, hope you're doing well. Trigger, thank you for the sub. Right, that's Max Alt Star. And actually, I just need to update this, so we're going to go 350 for the time being. There we are. Right, Alt Cruise, that's it. It's our cruising altitude. Right, well, let's now just check that nothing else has broken anyway. And then the fun begins. Limit, I'll do TCAS in a moment then. So, yeah, top of cruise.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck once again, just to let you know that we've reached our cruising altitude for today, and we are not anticipating any major delays or bad weather ahead, so we should be arriving on time as planned. The cabin crew will now start to make their way around the aircraft, so please make sure that the aisles are clear of any items you may have, and I invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. A reminder that our Easyjet SID pilot members are able to take advantage of free drinks throughout the duration of the flight. Thank you, and we shall have an update for you shortly.
Everything down there is working. Everything up here as well appears to be working. Captain Q, can I explain the fuel check? Yeah, we're going to do that in a second as well. So, first things, who was it asked about TCAS? So, When you're on the ground, you want to set it to standby. That's where it should be by default when you set up anyway. It should be standby when it's on the ground. And this should be set to above. When you get clearance to line up on the runway for departure, you set it to TARA, so that's traffic advisory, and the resolution advisory as well. And then when you get to cruising altitude, you set it to below. Here's a quiz question for a Friday. When would you set it to just TA, traffic advisory, and not TARA? So I'll leave that little one with you. Captain Q, fuel check. Okay, let's do that now. So we're about to pass Vapid. Let's grab my operational flight plan. Okay, so first of all, what we need to do before we can do our fuel check is know how much extra fuel did we actually take. So we had a plug fuel of, let's call that 8.6 tons, yeah? And, you know, I cheat. I have a calculator in front of me. I'll just grab my phone out for this. So 8.6 tons is what plug fuel was. How much fuel did we actually take? We took 9.4 tons. So 9.4 tons were in the tank when we pushed back. 9.4 minus 8.6 is a difference of 0.8. So 800 kilograms. Now, add on to that 800 kilograms the contingency fuel, which is 279. Let's call that 300. Okay, so 0.3. 0.8 plus 0.3 is 1.1, which is 1.1 tons of fuel extra overall. So the extra fuel that we loaded plus the contingency 5%, which was built into our flight plan anyway. So we've just passed, what waypoint was it? What was it called? Was it Vapid? Yeah, we've just passed Vapid. So now if we go and find that waypoint on our flight plan, where are you? Have I gone past it? Ah, there, Vapid. Yeah, now what we're going to do is we're going to check our minimal fuel remaining here, fuel on board, and it says 6.4. Well, if you remember, we've taken 1.1 tons of fuel extra. So what we should have in the tanks is 6.4 plus that 1.1 extra. 6.4 plus 1.1 is 7.5. What have we got in the tanks? We've just passed it. 7.5. So that's just confirmation that we're burning the expected amount of fuel. You can also check that you haven't got a fuel leak as well by checking the fuel page here, and it tells you at the top there, this is how much fuel you've used, that's how much fuel you've got left on board. Make sure that adds up to the initial fuel that we took, which was 9.4. If it is more, then or if it's saying, you know, there's if there's some fuel missing, then you have a suspected fuel leak. So just going back to the other little quiz question, when would you use TA mode on here? Yeah, when you've had an engine failure. The next question is, why do you use TA mode when you've had an engine failure?
In just a few moments, we'll commence our in-flight service, offering you the chance to purchase a selection of hot beverages, together with drinks and snacks from the bar. We accept payment in pounds, euros, most major currencies, and debit or credit cards. The correct change would be greatly appreciated, and if we can be of any further assistance, then just ask us as we join you in the cabin shortly.
Right, so we are just about to leave the British shores. I think now is time. Now is a good time to trigger that failure, isn't it? Admin Vortex, how do I get the window view so quickly? So these are just custom views. They're not preset views. So there are no macros or anything like that. If you want to set up your own custom views, you can do. You just press the Control, Alt, and then number 1 button. But with custom views, they're very easy to set up, because if you're in the flight deck like this, you can do this in the Fenix aircraft, because you can actually walk out of the cabin. So yeah, you can do this just by walking through the cabin. Find a view you like. So I don't know. Let's go sit in the front row down here. There we go. And then if you like that view, you just press Control, Alt, then plus any number you want across the top, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 0. And then to recall that view, it's Alt and then that number. And that's all I've used for that. Of course, if you don't want to be bothered setting up your own custom views and things, because you can do it in the fly-by-wire, it's just a little bit more tricky. But if you're on our Discord, you can download my custom views, and there's also a video on the channel explaining how to do that and set them up as well. Okay. So, everything's all happy and calm. We've just entered the... we've just left the shore. We're now flying over the channel. A few ships down below. Everything's looking good. We've done our top of climb check. It's time to sit back, relax, chill, ding the cabin crew to bring us a drink, and well, I'm now going to trigger a failure. Now this is always the fun bit, because the failure has been triggered. What has failed? Not every failure will ping up with an ECAM or a master caution, because it could be something that is very minor. It could be something like our flaps or slats are now stuck, but we don't know that until we try to deploy them. The gear, there could be a problem with the gear. We won't know that for another 2 hours when we're on final. So what is it? The only reason I know that something is now wrong with my aircraft is because I've failed it. I don't know what's failed, but something is wrong with the aircraft, and I've no idea what. So, yeah. Now what we can do is we can sort of look and see through through the SD pages to see if we can see anything. Everything looks. I was going to say everything looks fine there. Hang on. Why are none of my SD pages working? That's interesting. I was going to look through the SD pages to see if I could see if anything's failed. my SD pages aren't working. How annoying is that? That is not one I would have expected. Who would have expected that? Because, well, I wouldn't. I would not have expected that in the slightest. And that is something that is, you know, it's not the screen. The display unit is fine. It seems like the circuit board underneath it's fried, so the switching panel's not going to work. Okay, so what do we need to do when we find out that something's not working? Well, first thing is fly the aircraft. The aircraft's flying. The aircraft's absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with that. We've not got an ECAM alert, so it's not like we're going to run any ECAM actions or things like that. I'm not going to take control from the sort of virtual first officer and handle the radios, etc. This is just kind of those little head scratching moments you think, well, hang on, that's not right. Quick look at the overhead, make sure there's no lights sort of illuminated there. And as I say, we could have been flying along quite happily with absolutely no idea that anything was wrong with this, just because, well, we checked the SD pages at top of climb, just go through them, which we did, and it was fine. I'm checking them now just because I knew there was something wrong, because we triggered a failure. So it's yeah, that is a strange one. So the other thing we could do, let's see if we've got any circuit breakers that might have just popped or anything like that. I just find these sometimes quite difficult to see. Oh, hang on, let me shut that door. don't want the passengers knowing that something's failed and we don't know what it is. So we'll just kind of get lined up on there, see any whites or anything like that. They all look fine, don't they? Why are these out? These shouldn't be out. These have got nothing to do, by the way, with those screens not working. But they shouldn't be out. Let's have a look at the overhead. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the overhead either. Hey, Dr. Vape, hope you're well. Dr. Magic, it's snakes on a plane. I hope not. So, bear in mind that a lot of the main information is actually given to us here on the Louis Cam anyway. So, with regards to stuff like the engine parameters, we've got a lot of important stuff shown there. The bleed page, obviously we can see that is all working. Got the pressure difference, that's shown there. Cabin VS, that's fine. I also say the electrical page. Hydraulics. Fuel, well, we've got fuel used just here. We've got that shown on both sides. We know how much in total has been used. Obviously APU, we can't access that. That's not on at the minute. Conditions, we've got that shown as well. The door page, we can't check that. Wheel, we can't check that. And the flight controls, we can't check that. So, oh, hang on a minute. Oh, what's going on here? Ah, have we got access? Right, the SD buttons are bugged. So we do have access to it. The all button works. It's not as bad as we thought. I have got access to everything, but you have to cycle through them. I can't get direct access to them. I've got the systems page as well. Okay, in that case, it really is a bit of a non-event. It's a bit of an annoyance, but it's definitely not flight breaking. So what are we going to do? Are we going to continue? What are we going to do? Are we going to cancel the flight because of that? No, of course not. Of course not. Mike, there was another fuse popped out on the rear panel. Are you sure? Where was that? Oh! Brake temperature. There we go. If anyone's at their simulator right now, they need to load up, and they've got the Fenix. You need to load it up and see if when you load it up you've got some fuses popped. Oh, Ewald, hi mate. Those ones are always out, so it needs to be fixed. Oh, fair enough. Glad you told me that. I was about to send a message. But at least we know that's a normal thing. Either way, it's not flight breaking, and people can still enjoy their holiday. I can still access all the information I need to access. That's the important thing. So, yeah. We can see down there then, it'll tell you on here what it was that failed. Obviously though, pilots in the real world don't get that information. Hey Oliver, says just got back. What failure did we get? So we just got a bit of an ECAM issue. Which is a strange one, isn't it? I'm just now going through some of the documents. See if there's anything that can be done or needs to be done. So basically it's the ECAM control panel that's broken. So let's have a look. So the systems page, manual call button on the ECAM control panel. Number installed 11, number required 0. So basically it's not a no-go item. Means once we get into Palma, not Palma, we're not going to Palma, once we get to Menorca we can turn around and come back and it'll be fine. Now this is interesting though. The all button has to work. So if the ECAM control panel had broken and the all button wasn't working, that is a no-go item. That must be operative. Whereas just the individual systems pages, they can break and that's fine. And they have. But we now need to use the all button to go through everything. An annoyance, but not breaking. That's a neat little failure, isn't it? Lemon says just drop 19 passengers in the ECAM, will be fine. So yeah, what a weird random failure to get. It's not one you'd think of getting, that's for sure. Right, so I think we can get ourselves up flight 0370. Before we do that, let's check the weather and the winds and see if that's actually going to be of any benefit to us. So at the moment we've got, oh, we've just got a crosswind at the minute, so that makes no difference. So let's see what our weather is. Where are we at the minute? We are 20 miles from LGL. That's not a VOR of that beautiful little meow French town, is it? No, it's not. So LGL, let's have a look at the winds. Uh, 2423. That's negligible. The direction is pretty much the same. 24, 24, 24, 24, 24, 24. Yeah, it's really not going to make any difference with regards to wind. We're not going to get a benefit, or it's not going to be detrimental to our flight time. So in that case, yeah, we can get up to our cruise, our planned cruise, which is flight 370. Let's do that. Thrust climb up, climb 370. Blue. Lemon says the dedication to detail from the Fenix team, you've got to love it. Absolutely, you do stuff like that. How many failures are included in the Fenix aircraft? I want to say something like 180. Now, I've said we're going to climb. Where's this aircraft behind us? It's 200 feet behind us. Oh, sorry, 200 feet above us. We're going to climb though. So as long as we don't get in his way, we're going to be above him by 2,000 feet, so that's going to be fine. He's about 7 miles in trail of us. Aircraft don't come with rear view windows, do they? Captain Q, how can you activate a failure? What do you mean, you as a viewer? Oh, you have to spend your your hard-earned easy points on that, and I think it costs quite a lot, doesn't it? How much does it cost to activate a failure? I honestly can't remember, but it is a lot. It'll cost you. Right, we shall get some en route weathers as well, shall we? So if we have a quick look, let's see what we're doing and where we're going. From what we can see, everywhere's gorgeous today, so I don't really see there being too much of an issue with anywhere. Elliot, is it 100k? Wow, you needed 100,000 points to activate a failure. Alright, so we have got Paris obviously just there to our left. So we'll request the Parisian weather. We'll check out Bordeaux as well. And so what's that? That's Lima, Fox, Bravo, Delta. And also see what Barcelona's doing. So wait for those messages to come through and we'll have a look at them. Okay, so Paris, winds 120 at 12, that's okay, Cav okay as well, so Paris is open, Bordeaux, Cav okay, 33 degrees there, and temporary gusts of 40 knots, okay, that's not okay, we'll avoid Bordeaux if something breaks, Barcelona, that's fine, 070 40 knots, you're going to start to feel that as well. So what's happening in Mahon? See what's happening there. GV, are the en route I-5 charts of the Phoenix not working for me? What you mean on the on here? This appears to be working for me. If that's what you're referring to. Right, current weather then in Mahon, we've got wind 07014, that's fine. So decent enough crosswind of that. Cav okay, 29 degrees. QNH 1013. Set that up. Oh, the high airways and low airways. No, that appears not to be working. I don't really use those, to be honest. Aaron, do I have any videos on how to put the Phoenix into a hold position? Right, Aaron, what I suggest you do is if you go back and watch our stream from the start of the week where we were going into London Stansted, it was the giveaway stream. Go and watch that stream. You will be very comfortable doing holds after that because we got put into hold after hold. We were taken out of holds, then put back into holds because it was that busy on the network. So yeah, if you want to work out how to do holds, that is the best, probably the best stream to watch, to be honest. Lemon, in the EFB, is there a final status when arriving? Yours stopped showing when arriving, even after parking at the gate. What do you want it to show, Lemon? I'm a bit confused on that, to be honest. Who's at the top of the leaderboard these days, anyway, after all these points have been spent and gambled? I do keep hearing reports that England are going to set to bake in 40 degrees temperature. And I just think, oh my word. That's alright if you're on holiday. Lemon, you want a summary of the flight on the main page with the meta and so on? What, you mean after you've landed you want this page? Because once you've landed, all you do there is you just re-import the next flight. Just re-import from SimBrief and do that. GV, is this how the UK really looks like from above in real life? Well, it would be, except this is France. So this is what France looks like in real life. And at the moment, there are hardly any clouds in the sky anywhere over France, so there's a few on the horizon there. Backseat Flying on Twitch. What do I think of the new Stansted? It's now packed 24/7 on VATSIM. It is, isn't it? Which I think is awesome. that giveaway stream we did coming in there was yeah, it was really, really good. It was so busy. Hence why we had so many holds. Wondering your FSTraffic VMR file isn't working, is it the same for me? Oh, it was. Wondering if you check out my, if you check out the channel, do a search Easyjet SimPilot, and then check out FSTraffic update. Type in something like that into the search box on YouTube. And we did touch on this because my VMR file didn't work either. You need to, there's a link in that video description, which is why I've asked you to search that out, because there's a link to the forums which then gives you a file to download, and it is the correct VMR file. Basically, what is it Aerosoft FSTraffic? Basically what the developers have done with that VMR file, they had forgotten to put a period or a quotation mark or something like that in the right place, and it just messed up the whole file. So a correct one is available for you. You just need to download it. Aaron, is it the flight plan page you set up to prep? Yes, so if you want to enter a hold, you go to flight plan and then pick a waypoint you want to hold at. So you can select sort of Sopil, for example, press the hold button, then you can either enter manually the inbound course or the computed course that it's going to, that the aircraft's sort of on track to fly, and it'll add it in for you. Now obviously I don't want to do that, so temporary erase. But you can also do a present position hold as well. So if we wanted to, we could just say, right, I'm holding right here, right now, kind of thing. So then you'd flight plan again, the top left side key, and press hold, and that is a hold at your present position. So yeah, look, that's just going to hold us where we are. So a couple of ways to do a hold there. Mark, celebrating 21 months of channel membership. That's incredible, Mark, who says, do we agree the last failure was... Do we agree the last failure was a little boring? What are you trying to say, Mark? I thought we dealt with it beautifully. We learnt something, did we not? We learnt that it doesn't matter if these don't work. That's not a no-go item. We don't need any of these to actually work, but we do need the all button to work. I think that's a great piece of information to learn. So, Mark, not happy with the failure that we've got. Mark, my passengers are not going to thank you. Mark has triggered another failure. Oh dear. Oh dear. Okay. So another failure is on the way. Courtesy of Mark this time. Elliot tried to brake my aircraft. My aircraft resisted, and it was like, nah, bring it on. We're fine. And now Mark, after being so generous as well with your EasyJet SimPilot membership gifts, is now also trying to brake my aircraft. Aaron Flood, that is incredible. Thank you so much for your €20 donation, Aaron Saint. Thank you for showing me this. Really appreciate it. Aaron, you are more than welcome. And of course, I can understand why needing to know how to do holds and things like that is such an important thing to do, because it allows you a bit of time. If you've got a failure, for example, you know, let's say something serious has happened, I was like, well, hang on, let's just sit where we are, let the autopilot take care of things, and we'll just fly around in a circle for a bit. So great use of that. But the other thing is, if you fly on the VATSIM network, and it's a busy airspace, you need to know how to put your aircraft into a hold, because they're going to want you to do that, as they did in Stansted the other night. But yeah, Aaron, I would definitely go and check out that. Yeah, I would definitely go and check out that that stream going into Gatwick. Sorry, into Stansted, because that you'll never have a phobia of holds again after watching that one. In fact, on that flight, we even got sent back to a waypoint previous on our flight plan because there was that much traffic. Right. Mark. There we go. Mass caution. Let's clear that. Okay, this could be a decent one. So, IDG2 oil low pressure. Alright, number one, let's just check how we're doing with the flight. The flight is absolutely fine, nothing wrong with that. Cross-guarded switch, IDG fault, that is confirmed up there. So we've confirmed the failure, it's showing us on the bottom lower ECAM, and now we need to do the ECAM actions. So if I'd got a partner sat with me in the right hand seat, I have control, my plane, my radios, so can you would ask them run the ECAM actions. So electrical IDG2 oil low pressure, so IDG2 we need to turn off. So that we've just seen. Obviously I don't have a guy who's now next to me to do that, so we're going to do that. This is a cross-guarded switch, so he would have to confirm with me that this is the correct button to sort of press, which of course we say yep. So we're going to turn that off. So that's come off. Shut that down. And then with that, of course, generator 2 has now come off because we've lost the power to that because we've turned off the integrated drive generator. Now that means that generator 1 is powering the essential bus, AC2, DC2. The electrics page is showing that. So ECAM actions have been completed. I'm going to leave that up here for now, just so we know we've got that and I can see that, and I'm going to refer now to some documentation to carry that out and see what else we've got with regards to the documents. Are we going to carry on? Are we going to divert? The issue that is sort of first and foremost in my mind now is we've lost IDG number 2. What happens now? What happens now if we lose generator 1 or IDG 1? That then becomes a very serious issue. So this potentially could wreck a few people's holidays. So let me just refer to some documentation and we'll have a quick look. So just bear with me, guys. I'm going to just check through this. What would be nice is if I got some of this documentation that was available on the web so you guys could actually see it. Alright, so we had, what was the failure? It was IDG number 2, oil low pressure, wasn't it? Okay, so the oil pressure indication pulses green. Continue normal engine operation. If the oil pressure indication becomes red without the ECAM alert, continue normal engine operation. In both cases, monitor other engine parameters, particular oil temperature and oil quantity. Oh, sorry, that's completely wrong. That's the engine low pressure. Forget that. this is the IDG that we've got an issue with. Forget that. That was all rubbish. Ignore me. I was reading the wrong paragraph. Okay, so now just looking at the minimum equipment list. Right, so we had the ECAM alert, did we? IDG 2 oil low pressure. Okay, minimum equipment list, let me just see. Okay, so now this is interesting. One may be inoperative for a maximum of 10 days because there's 2 installed, one is only required. So 10 days or 50 flight hours. The flight altitude is limited to 33,500 feet. Right, so that means then we should probably get ourselves down. The reason for that is so if we need the APU can be started. We're a little bit too high for that to start at the moment. So we're going to get ourselves down to 30, we're going to get down to 33. So let's do that now. Thrust idle, over descent 330. The APU needs to be operative and used throughout the flight. Okay, so we're going to start our APU once we've got down to altitude. Reason for that is, remember I said if we lose generator 1 or IDG 1, then we could be in trouble. If we've got the APU already up and running, that then can power the essential bus.
Traffic.
We're visual with that traffic, and we're going to pull heading. We'll let him turn off. We're going to be going well below him anyway, so we just need to get 1,000 feet clear of him, then we can go back direct to FPOC. Right, it's 1,000 feet, so let's get back on course. Nav blue heading and alt star. Right, so just continuing to read APU, ATC, yeah, okay, so we get the APU fired up in a moment. All buses of power. Okay, let's get that APU started then. Now this is obviously going to burn a bit more fuel than we'd planned, so we're going to keep an eye on our fuel as we go. And then we also need to check our landing capability. That's fine, we'll do that in a moment. We've got plenty of time to do that. So we've just paused our recap actions whilst we're going through, I'm just going through the mail and basically getting our aircraft configured for the failure that we've got. So there we are, flight level 330, APU is now online, there we go. That's it, the coffee heater, we can boil the kettle again now, APU's come on, that's now powering AC2, and that's it, now we're sorted. So we've got a bit of a fuel penalty here, the APU is going to burn about, what are we at, we're at 3.3, so it's going to burn about 49 kilograms an hour. That's pretty negligible, isn't it? But that's okay. Alright, so let's also check our systems pages. Still our ECAM actions are paused. So there we go, that now has cleared some of the in-op systems. Generator 2 is in-op, of course it is, we've turned off IDG number 2. And I think we can clear the ECAM. So, clear ECAM, yeah, let's clear that. Systems page is checked, generator 2, okay. And we're done. So that's it, we've dealt with the failure. What does that mean for us in terms of the actual flight? Well, you know, technically, there's nothing to stop this aircraft from departing. Which is strange, isn't it, to think that, you know, we've got it not working, but yeah, it's fine. Because we've got the APU. So that was 2 failures. One, our ECAM control panel is busted. And number 2, we've lost the IDG2. So we basically lost generator number 2. But we're still going on holiday. I do find it quite interesting that only having one IDG working means that your aircraft is still flyable. It's not a no-go item. We can still we can still fly. So we can still take this aircraft back to Manchester. Although to be fair, it could probably get fixed in Palma. Darfurian, now that the IDG is offline, what's the worst that can happen now in regarding items failing? Probably the APU or IDG1 or generator 1 failing. Because if they go, well then, you know, then things really are interesting. So it's number 2 that's gone wrong already, wrong way. Number 2 is out, number 1 is working. Can I bring up the electrical page? Because I think it's easier just to show it on there, isn't it? Yeah, there we go. So the IDG broke, the generator is fine, but the IDG broke. We've had to turn that off, that means the generator's disconnected. So APU is running AC2. And what about the what about TR failing? Which one? What, number 2? We'd still be okay. Photograph is an autopilot failure. No, that's okay. We can fly without autopilot. We just have to descend again. David, at what point will the captain change the squawk to 7700? Probably not now, because there's nothing there that is preventing this aircraft from flying. That is the beauty of modern aircraft. There's just backups upon backups upon backups. And you know, if you don't like looking at that screen, which is just littered with failures, we can enjoy this beautiful picturesque view instead. You know, that's far better. Less fearsome than looking at amber screens. So we can do, what we'd probably do is sort of land in Palma, ask if we'd be sending a message to Ops now to say, oh, you know, we've broken something. Is there MOCs down there in Palma that can have a look at getting that back up and running before the return leg? If there is, great. If not, we need to get the aircraft somewhere where it can be fixed. So where we're going to take it, well, if we can get it back to Manchester so it's back into position, that's fine. But there are some limitations, of course. So we wouldn't plan to fly at above 33,000 feet. Bit of a fuel penalty for that as well. We've got to remember we need to keep an eye on our fuel because APU is burning extra fuel and we're obviously flying lower, so we're going to be burning a bit more fuel as well. So we'll do a fuel check in a little while, and then we also need to do a landing calculation. In fact, has this got in it? I was wondering if it was going to have a. Yes, no, that's fine. Yeah, I didn't know if there was a landing distance procedure needed to be applied. I don't think it does actually. INAP Panda, has the failing happened yet? Indeed it has. 2, actually. I only signed up for 1. I've handed control back to the first officer now, he can worry about it. I'm just going to sit pretty. But yeah, we do need to keep an eye on our fuel because we are going to be burning more than planned. But we took extra fuel anyway, didn't we? Because of the CBs that we might encounter a little bit later on. So we wouldn't need to leave this page open. I've just got this page on so you guys can see what's going on down there. Probably again, action also just makes good sense to turn that off. It's failed anyway. So there. Photogrammers, just to be a bit pedantic here, Generator 2 hasn't failed. Generator 2 is absolutely fine. The integrated drive IDG has failed. So because we've had to turn that off, that means Generator 2 can't work. How long before we get there? Time's not looking too bad. Well, we should be on the ground in about an hour. Hopefully at the right airport. Yeah, Aaron, does the inside of the cabin all have Easyjet stuff? It does indeed, yeah. Oh, very orange. Even has little adverts as well, though. Shut the door. Well then, thank you for the follow. If you have enjoyed the flight and the stream so far, guys, if you can just do us a favour, hit that like button for us on the stream. It does make a big difference, so thank you everybody that's done that. Up level, thank you for the follow as well. Hope you're doing well. Now we're trundling along though at 33,000 feet. That Dreamliner ahead of us is just going to absolutely blast us way ahead of us. That's why, Dark Fury, it didn't really matter if I departed first, you were always going to overtake us. Oh, Dark, are you in a 737? I thought you were in really? It looked suspiciously like a Dreamliner to me on the ground. Might just be my eyes. Hey, Mr. Victoria. So, Dark, if you're at max 7.9, what are we at? We're at 7.4. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're not as fast, obviously. We're a little slower. It means we're going to be late. Look, see the time starting to creep up. And it's not like we could really do any directs because it's not going to help us. Aaron, yeah, we always use live weather. Hey, Rathan05 on Twitch. Good afternoon. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, Miss Victoria, realistic turbulence is turned on. Minutes, we'll do a fuel check at Narak and see how things are handling.
In just a few moments, we'll commence our in-flight service, offering you the chance to purchase from our selection of fresh food available today. Full details can be found in your in-flight brochure. We accept payment in pounds, euros, most major currencies, and debit or credit cards. The correct change would be greatly appreciated, and if we can be of any further assistance, then just ask us as we join you in the cabin shortly.
Aaron, we are currently flying over France. And then we'll just touch the top corner of Spain. In fact, no, I think we might do a bit more than that. Oh, yeah, it's just a little bit. We'll just touch the top northwest corner of Spain before heading out over the over the Mediterranean. Might get a bit of a view of Barcelona, depending on how far away we are. Can we do that? We'll just get some en route weather for Toulouse. See what that says when that comes through in a moment. Oh, good lord. That's big. Winds currently 120, 23, gusting 33. So, given the runway orientation there at Toulouse, that is a nice crosswind. 9 kilometers visibility. Wow. Few clouds at 1,000 feet, towering cumulus, 30 degrees, temporarily variable winds gusting up to 45, with 1.5 kilometers visibility, becoming few clouds, 6,000 cumulus on inbound. Do you know what? That just sounds like a place you don't want to go. If we've got to dart in somewhere, that sounds awful. It's down there somewhere, so I'm not quite sure what it'll look like. Now, do you remember as part of our brief right at the start, we said about an hour and a half into the flight is when we need to just be aware that if we have a decompression, we're going to have terrain beneath us. Well, we can just start to see it look as well. And if you just have a quick check of the temperature. So it's only minus 46. That's because we're at 33,000 feet, isn't it? Just means that we just need to keep an eye when heading through any sort of clouds or anything, because if that temperature drops, we're going to need to put anti-ice on as well. That also is going to cost us a bit of fuel. Gary, you were encouraged when you saw that self-loading cargo version 1.6 was coming out. Sadly, I did reserve judgment. Maybe it will come out for Flight Simulator 2024, or maybe Flight Simulator 2028. Right, let's do a fuel check then and see how we're getting on. So the fuel beforehand was absolutely spot on with our calculations. We're just approaching Menorca. How long have we been flying for? 1 hour 25, so I can just use this here as a rough guide. There it is. So it should be about 5.1. Well, we've got 5.4, so the problem is the Fenix aircraft doesn't burn fuel quite as well as it should. So actually, even with the APU running, even flying at a lower altitude, we're okay. In fact, what we can do, because we've got this extra fuel, let's speed her up. Aaron, yeah, so the airline announcements come from a little app called Self-Loading Cargo. That's what takes care of all of those. And hopefully with this now, it might mean that I can just get the time a little bit back on our side. So 16:45 is currently the planned time in the box. So we'll start looking at the arrival and get some information from the charts. So let's do that, shall we? We'll do that back here. Can you imagine a pilot coming out the flight deck saying, yeah, the view's better out here, I'm just going to go and plan the arrival. So it is the Sargo arrival I think we're doing, isn't it? if memory serves. Yes, Sargo 3 Bravo arrival, which has a nice little DME arc. In fact, hang on, just before I do that, I'm just going to grab the latest weather for our destination. Make sure we're planning the arrival for the right runway. I'll just wait for that to come back. Just while I'm doing that, guys, I'm just going to, for our channel members that are on Discord, and we've had some new channel members as well today, so I'm going to show you I'm just going to pop a picture on there for you. And you're going to like this picture. So, if you're on our Discord server, for now, just one of our for our channel members, but a video will be coming out in the future about this. So I'm just going to pop this in now. Give that a second to upload. For some reason, the pictures come out sideways, but never mind. So, yeah, channel members, just in the members lounge. I've just popped a little picture in there for you. Go and have a look at that, and tell me what you think. So, let's have a quick look at this. What are we going to need from it? Looking at that weather that I've just read, wind 07 at 14, so that's a crosswind. It's going to be runway 14 arrival. What was that? What was that star? Sargo 3 Bravo. Navaids available. We've got the Mike November NDB. We've got the Menorca VOR. So we'll get those in. Transition altitude is 6,000 feet. Platform altitude for the approach is bloody low. 1,600. Wow. MSA is 2.5, and the weather is Cav OK, so that's going to be normal Cat 1 minimums 485. ILS IMH 007 degrees track. Airfield elevation 278, and missed approach. Straight out 2,000 feet, then a right turn climbs 2.5 at the VOR. Fezza, is that you that's just joined us in the chat? Simulate by Elana's Live. Hey guys, how you doing? You joined us on a nice chilled out Friday afternoon stream, and now you've just made me feel very thirsty for a beer. I say chilled out. The IDG's conked, number 2, and my eCam control panel's bust as well. Aside from that, we're in great shape. Right, here we go. Through these clouds, just keep an eye on that temperature. Temperature's fine at the moment. So let's have a look and see what that arrival is looking like in the box. So there it is. That's the DME arc that we wanted. That's going to come in nicely. Lovely. Alright, so let's check just check this out. At Balio, we don't want to be doing 243 knots. We're going to be 3,000 feet and we're only going to be 30 miles out. So let's just assist our box by giving that a slightly more sensible speed. So 180 knots, pop that in, insert that. So that's okay. Radnav page, we said we're going to get in the Mahon VOR, which is Mike Hotel November, and also the Mike November NDB, just in case we have to fly raw data for whatever reason. Progress page, I'll fill that in a sec. Oh no, actually let's just do that now. So Lima Echo Mike Hotel runway 01, 293 miles away. Sorry, 239 miles away. Performance phase, yeah, I'll sort that in a bit. Get the minimums in there, I'll get the latest weather in, that will go a little bit closer. But the minimums were 485. And transition altitude 6,000, that's fine. I think the Q&A as well was 1013. So I'll pop that in, fill the rest out in a little bit. Second flight plan, copy the active. Right, let's do a landing calculation, see how we're going to do. Right, I need to get to the fuel page on this thing, but the control panel's buggered, so we're going to use our all page so we can access that. We're just going around the houses until we get the one we want. Electrical, hydraulics, fuel. Hey, in fact, what we're doing, how do we get it off there? What a numpty. I can tell it's Friday. Fuel prediction page, that's where I want it from. I'm trying to find it on a broken screen. Okay, let me see. So our zero fuel weight is what? Zero fuel weight is 58.2. Fuel, let's call that 4 tons. So that gives us 62.2. Okay, so landing calculation. It is indeed dry. $62.4 to be conservative. Looks like we're going to do flaps full to get in. Flaps full seems like the more sensible way to go. Yeah, so go flaps full. What was that? What was the weather then? It is 07014. Temperature is 29 degrees. That's cooler than it is in this office today. And that gives us a VAP of 136. Neat. Alright, so the box is filled out. We'll do a brief in a little bit. Now that's all sorted. We know what we're doing. Oh, right, big shout out to those of you watching on Twitch as well. I know a few of you prefer to sit and watch it on Twitch for whatever reason, so give us a wave, guys, if you're there. Aaron, glad you like the picture. I will be revealing more details about that in due course, except to say that it works flawlessly with the Phoenix. Mark says there's still one more failure in stock. What now? Whilst we're over the the terrain part of the flight. Let's not. You do what you want. I'm just going to say, you fail something. I'm going to sit here and enjoy the view. Hey, Dastravel. Hey, Piss Randy. Yeah, exactly, Mark. That's what you'd be hoping for, wouldn't it? Rapid depressurization. To be honest, the terrain isn't that bad here. Do a 180 and get down, you'll be fine. Paul T, that is a big failure. Drinks trolley is empty, particularly on the journey out of your holiday. Just feel actually a little bit of turbulence as we're over here. Do love the views as you enter Spain from France. What a strange place for a quarry. Would you want to be one of the lorry drivers driving this route? Is this something you can do in something like Euro Truck Simulator? I have seen people playing that. I thought it actually looked quite interesting. Not my main cup of tea as a game to play, but entertaining nevertheless. Temperature's still fine, so we're doing away with anti-ice. Don't need it. Hey, easy guy. Right, well, should we do the, let's do the full arrival brief then, shall we? Box is all set up so we can go through that. But yeah, let's just go through all that stuff. So starting then with the weather brief, which we always do, so the want brief. In fact, just before I do that, one thing I haven't checked for the arrival. I'm sure it'll be fine at Menorca. Oh right, there's a little note on here. Maximum altitude over Sargo is flight level 180. Oh right, okay, so we need to pop that in. Oh actually, it looks like it's already there. 180 Sargo. That's fine. Okay, so no times is fine. Let's get back to our brief. So, latest weather information we've got: wind 070.14, so that's going to be a decent crosswind coming in from the right as well, landing. It's also varying as well, 03 to 100. Cab okay though. 29 degrees, QNH is 1013. Yeah, so good fun with the landing today. Nice crosswind landing coming in. That should be good. Aircraft, well, oh god, where to begin? So the ECAM control panel has broken. That's not a major issue for us, that's fine. However, the IDG2 is obviously broken, so we've had to shut that down. We've lost generator 2, so we've got our APU is currently on. Any penalties with regards to fuel for that? A little bit, about 50 kilograms an hour, but we've checked our fuel en route and we're fine. Is it going to affect us? with regards to the rest of our flight? Well, let me just see actually. So after landing at the gate, in absence of external electrical power, ground equipment at destination, an engine opposite to the refuel point will need to be operated during refueling. That's going to be fine. We've got ground power units, so that's all right. So yeah, don't need to worry about that. Yeah, so there's nothing there that's going to affect us. We would have put a call in real life to the ops to see if there was an MOC around to come and fix that. We'd have probably got a message back to say yay or nay. If it's not, it's fine. It's not a no-go item, so we can make the return journey. Obviously, we'd speak to ops to see, do you want us to come back to Manchester or do you want us to go back somewhere else? So that's yeah, that's pretty much what we do, but it's not going to affect our getting and landing in Menorca, so the passengers will be happy to hear that. Threats to be aware of at Menorca, not too familiar with it. Been there once before, so in terms of terrain, I don't think there's anything really treacherous with the Menorca Island, not like Mallorca of course, which has got terrain to the north of their airport. This is pretty fine looking at it. It can get down 3,000 feet, so if we wanted to we could fly the whole DME arc at 3,000 feet. We're not going to, of course, because that's not good for the environment, but yeah, terrain's not going to be an issue for us. All we need to do is just make sure we're not too fast by the time we get to Balio. So the plan will be 3,000 feet at Balio. So if we need to get below the profile, and then we'll use VS to sort that out, but I'll discuss that in a minute. So, Sargo arrival. Flight level 180 or below at Sargo. That's in the box. We've checked that. That was also a NOTAM, so that's fine. So, managed descent for most of the way down, but I actually will probably keep an eye on that. And if we need to, I'm going to throw it into open descent, get below that profile, because my plan is to be flaps 1 at Balio. So, we need to be green dot, obviously, before that. So, flaps 1 at Balio. At Balio, we want to be at 3,000 feet, and then with that we'll just get on the glide slope. Now it's a normal 3-degree glide slope, so there's nothing out of the ordinary about that. 45 meters, that's fine as yeah, that's fine as well. So nothing daft with that. So you know how we're going to how I plan to fly the approach. Once we have landed, we're going to vacate either Delta, Echo or Fox. Fox is the rapid exit taxiway, so that would make sense. Getting off at Fox and then a right hand turn. Don't know if can we take Juliet? Is that allowed? There's nothing on the charts to say that we can't take Juliet, I don't think. Noise abatement, low visibility, communication, departure, taxi procedures. Runway 1 use aircraft shall enter the apron by gates Echo or Juliet and vacate by gate Delta. So Echo or Juliet is fine and vacate by Delta. Yeah, that's alright then. So yeah, we can do that. There's no width restriction for us. Yes, that would be the plan. Foxtrot straight across to Juliet and then enter the ramp just here, and probably take one of the first or last parking stands. We don't get jetways, do we, Easyjet? So yeah, the get-in looks pretty straightforward then, doesn't it? Alright, so it's the ILS 01 Sargo 3 Delta, which we've said and confirmed already. Auto brake low. I've told you how I'm going to fly at the approach. There's no minimum speeds or anything like that. We know where we're going to vacate and where we're going. Single engine taxi. No, airport's far too short. Don't need to worry about that. We'll probably need to stop the time once we've landed, because we may get to the gate before I can actually shut it down. It's not a long taxi by any stretch of the imagination. So just be aware of that as we're getting in. And then just confirming in the box what we've got. ILS 01 Sargo 3 Bravo. Radnav, we've got the Mahon VOR and the Mahon NDB. They're hard tuned. QNH 1013, winds are in 07014, Speed is 136. What I might do with the winds, we could just increase that to just add 5 to that. 141. So I'll just increase VAP a little bit because we've got a fairly decent crosswind. Yeah, so 141 and the minimum is 485. Landing weight we've said is going to be about 62.2, so that's fine, and the secondary flight plan is just the same. It's the main flight plan. Okay, brief done, and we'll be headed down in about 50 miles. Don't know if we can see Barcelona or if it's too far away. We'll be out this window if we can. What has been quite nice on a flight like this one today, we've actually been overland for most of it. We obviously had the Channel, and now we've got the Mediterranean, and this is it now until we get there. One other thing we can do just to help with our nice sort of try and get a nice CDA is if we go and put a fixed ring. Although we don't need a fixed ring, do we? Because we know what we're going to do. I normally like my 9-mile fix around the runway threshold, but we don't need it, because we know we're aiming for 3,000 feet at Balio. Which is there. And then we're on a platform altitude, as I say, a really low platform altitude of 1,600 feet. Can't remember if I touched on the go around. I'll just do it again in case I didn't. But yeah, straight out to 2,000 feet, and then it's right hand turn and enter the hold at the VOR 2,500. Definitely worth noting that, as we've got that crosswind. So if we become destabilised, we're going to be we know what we're doing. "30 minutes then, and we should be in." Legend Dark Fury says the MOC is in the TUI flight in front. Well, you better land first then. Dasrell on Twitch says you actually create mods and stuff for Euro Truck Simulator. I have a huge respect for anyone that creates mods for flight simulators or anything like that. Certainly not something that I could do. Diana says you haven't touched Euro Truck Simulator for some time, but it's great if you want to get tired and are ready to fall asleep. Well, once we land, my first officer will be ready to go for his walk. think we can actually see Menorca. Sorry, Menorca in front of us. Can we see Menorca as well? Might just be in the distance over there. Look. So at the moment we're in selected speed of Mach 0.79. What we might do, I'm just going to reduce that a couple. We'll let the Dreamliner ahead of us sort of scoot away. How far out is he? We got him on TCAS. He was there. Oh, actually, hang on. Should come on now. Right, yeah, so he's 3,000 feet above us, but he's only 5 miles, so let's just reduce that. In fact, if we push that for managed speed, that should sort that out. Oh, Dark, I keep calling you a Dreamliner. I swear to God you look like a Dreamliner on the ground at Manchester. But if you say you're a 737, I'll believe you.
Menorca area traffic, Jet 93 Tango is inbound solid, flight level 350, descending now for the Cyber 3 Bravo for the ILS Yankee 01 at Menorca. And will maintain maximal 78 for the descent conversion 307.
Yeah, we're sat here maintaining Mach 7.4, so the spacing should be absolutely fine. The fact there's nothing daft like a backtrack in Menorca to have to do, so we don't need to worry about spacing there too much. It's going to be okay. Right, I'm going to clean up my eCam screens because we don't need that one. Okay, and that is our top of descent, so we're going to get down flight level 18. So, thrust idle descent 180 blue. Tablet's running out of juice. Let's pop that power cable back in. Need to remember to get rid of that though before we're about to come in. So has everybody got lined up for the weekend? Anything special? If you've got the place to yourself, are you just going to spend all day flying on Flight Simulator? Nothing wrong with that. Tell you what though, sat in this office I can feel it getting warmer and warmer and warmer. I'm going to drop off to sleep after this. It's got very tired in the last 20 minutes, half an hour or so. Not a problem in the real aircraft, you just turn the aircon down. MSFS, any idea when the 737 PMDG leaders are coming on Xbox? No idea, I'm afraid. Fruitbat, you're off to Norfolk for a week break. That sounds idyllic. Not on the Norfolk Broads. That doesn't sound idyllic. That sounds like sounds like the start of a teen terror movie. I have done the Norfolk Broads years and years ago, but I was only a kid. I'll let my parents worry about getting their boat stuck on the narrow canals. Captain Q, you're going to do a real-time flight tomorrow following a flight on Flight Radar 24. That is something I've never done. I flew back and might do a day boat on the Norfolk Roads. Fair enough. A day is just long enough, isn't it? No responsibility. Mark, you're taking your lad to Specsavers. Real exciting. Do you know what I'm looking forward to? And this is how sad my life's become. So my lad has recently started doing cricket. And it means we've got to be up because we've got to get all the girls up as well, make sure that they're ready, and we go to his match, we'll support him, and it's fun when we get there, but we normally have to get up at about 6:15 in the morning to make sure everyone's up and ready because it's quite an early start. And the season's now finished, which means that tomorrow is the first Saturday lie-in that my wife and myself are going to have for about 2 or 3 months. I'm really looking forward to it. We don't get one on Sunday because he plays football. Fruitbat says the rest of the time is probably taking the 5-year-old trampoline if she's addicted. Oh, that sounds like a gymnast of the future. I mean, it could be worse, Fruitbat. She could be into horses. The most expensive hobby in the world. Elliot, hashtag no kids. Smiley face. Love it. Oh, they are an absolute joy and at other times an absolute pain. I won't even tell you you're missing out, Elliot, because you're not. Choky Choke says, hi from Australia, is watching the Ashes right now, 2:20 AM. How are you doing? How are we doing? Liana, you just got the dog. Excellent. Chris Morgan says he thought flight sims were expensive. Not as expensive as a horse. Elliot, you've just got Kenny the cat. Is that the name of the cat, Elliot? Kenny the cat. I like it. Cats look after themselves, though, don't they? Tunisian Avgeek, what is the best EasyJet quality livery for the Fenix A320? You mean besides our beautiful channel livery? I've got no idea because I just use our channel livery, designed by my MOC Dark Fury. Dark, you've got the next week off work after Saturday. That sounds nice. Choky, you were 76 for 3 on the second innings. How did England finish up today? Because before we started this morning, we were out for 3 for 63 or something daft like that. Can't remember what we started off with. How did we finish? Okay, flight level 90 and 90 blue. We were all out for 237. 237. What did Australia get in the first innings then? I think Australia took that one, didn't they? Hardly surprising, mind. .267. Oh, so they were 30 behind. That's a shame. Well, not for you. 'Tis for us.
Ladies and gentlemen, take full advantage of your tax-free allowances today and make some amazing savings with our boutique range. In your in-flight brochure, you'll find details of our award-winning selection of gifts, most with massive discounts, some of which are exclusive to you as an EasyJet customer. Make the most of your opportunity to shop and save from the comfort of your seat. If you'd like to see any products, have any questions, or would like to make great savings, then just ask us as we join you in the cabin shortly.
Right, and there it is. There's the Isle of Menorca that we'll be virtually spending our weekend there. Jockey also been trying out the Dreamliner after the update. Nicely improved. A lot of people have been saying that. Menorca traffic easy, 85 Hotel Golf, just past Sargo on Sargo 3, Bravo for ILS Yankee, runway 01, passing flight 170, speed, we're going to hold speed 260 for separation from the two aircraft in front. So, speed selected 260. Decibel says, speaking of flying, I will most likely be flying to Bali next year. Excellent, that sounds relaxing. First flight will be Frankfurt to Dubai, then Dubai to Bali. 6 to 9 hour flight with a waiting time of 3 hours in between. That's not so bad. On our honeymoon, we had something like a 6 hour layover in Dubai, which for me was absolutely fine. The wife not quite so thrilled. Just for you plane fans, yeah, it's pretty welcomed indeed. I've got a layover in Philadelphia later this year of about 4 hours. Not dreading it one bit. Right, thrust side 11%, 3000 blue. Hey, so Scotty, so any tips on maintaining the glide after disconnecting the autopilot? Just got the Phoenix and the Thrustmaster. The main thing to remember...
We're inbound Texas, descending through flight level 100, reducing our speed to 250 knots to maintain speed below transition.
Okay, just listening to it there. Yeah, the main thing to remember, Scotty, is when you disconnect the autopilot, you don't need to really be hands-on, you know, physically every correction needs to be put in and felt, because your aircraft is fly-by-wire. It's already perfectly configured to fly that approach. Just small, minor corrections, so you really don't need to be going over the top with anything. You know, in theory, on a day where there's absolutely no wind, you could disconnect the autopilot at 1,000 feet and it'd fly straight down the glide path and maintain that localizer if there were no external forces, because of the fly-by-wire technology that's involved. So he's just reducing speed 250 knots now. I'm going to do that as well, actually. I'm going to do that a little sooner than normal, but that's fine. Just need to maintain that separation.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, you may have noticed that we have just begun our final descent into our destination. If you could now assist the cabin crew by tidying up your tray table and handing them any litter as they come around, that would be most appreciated. For safety reasons, we ask now that you please turn off all electronic devices or switch them to airplane mode until after we have landed. Please note that the aircraft toilets are now out of use. If you wish to become a Easyjet Sim Pilot channel member, please contact a member of your cabin crew who will be happy to assist you. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed your flight.
Okay, so get the LS push button on, activate that approach phase. That's confirmed and activated. And the approach checklist. So bar F, QNH 1013, seatbelt signs are on, minimums 485, auto brake low, and our EFB is stowed. I'll disconnect it as well. Big Pilot, we had 2 failures. The ECP broke. That's not a biggie. And the IDG number 2 broke. Semi-biggie. Okay, so we'll use VS mode just to slow that rate of descent down because we're now nicely below that profile. Don't need to be 3,000 feet just yet. And we did say when we briefed it there wasn't really any terrain to worry about. I don't know Menorca that well, but that indeed does seem the case. FMA says happy landings, thank you. Remember, we've got a almost perfect crosswind of 14 knots when we land, so that's going to be interesting to see. Quick fuel check. We've got over 4 tons, we've got loads. Captain Samuel, thank you for the follow.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will shortly be landing. Please ensure your cabin bag is safely stowed with your laptop inside. Your tray table must be stowed, armrest down, and window blind open. You now need to be seated with your seatbelt fastened, ready for landing. Please help us by handing in any rubbish, newspapers, or magazines that you do not want to take with you. The toilets are no longer in service.
We did brief that it would potentially be a bit of a turbulent sort of descent, and seems like it. It's a little bit bumpy, isn't it?
Menorca traffic, Jet 93 November, about 9 miles from Balio, reducing your speed to 220 knots.
Okay, so that's aircraft in front. He's going 220. Not going to slow down just yet. We're 10 miles in trail of him, which is plenty. Absolutely fine. Captain Beanie says, from one Gavin to another, love the content, keep it up. Gavin, you're welcome. Thank you. Everything's looking pretty fine at the minute. Remember, we've just increased VAT a little bit, so speed's going to be 141. And that's just to mitigate the crosswind that we've got. Not the easiest to control in the Fenix. Version 2 will fix that. Right, so let's start slowing down then. Pushing for managed speed and also reducing speed now. Mahon traffic easy at 5 Hotel Golf is now 10 miles inbound Balio on the DME arc for ILS runway 01.
Menorca traffic, Tom Jet 93 November, we established on the localizer 01 at 11 mile.
Yeah, so I think separation should be absolutely fine. And if we need to reduce final approach speed early, so be it. Glide slope's coming up to meters. And remember how we briefed it? We said we wanted to be flaps 1 by the time we were getting established because we're going to be pretty close to that glide slope. Flaps 2 then should be available to us because we're going to be speed 180 as is the norm when we pull flaps 1. So let's do that now with 5 miles to go. So flaps 1, speed's checked. I'll pull flaps 1 and we'll reduce speed 180. Now the platform altitude is 16, so let's continue that. We're just below the glide, so we'll continue VS 600 and we'll continue all the way down, see if we can get a nice CDA in there. Speed's dropping, so that's going to be fine, that's going to hold 180, and now let's arm the approach. So alt glide slow, block blue, cat 3 dual, autopilot 1 and 2. With that, a reminder of the failure that we had. That is fine. So clear that. Lock star.
Okay, traffic, Tom Jet 93 November 5.5 final 01.
And we're 12 miles. And for information, we're behind you at 12 miles, speed 180. So 7 miles between us, shouldn't be an issue. So I've just reduced VS to 300. We're well below the glide slope. We've already captured localizer, so we'll just balloon into the glide slope with flaps 2 when we see it starting to drop. Alright, what was the failure? So an ECP failure and a IDG number 2 failed. Here comes the glide slope. That works perfectly for us because we also need to be flaps 2 by 2,000 feet. Now look at that wind. At the moment that is a perfect 28 knot crosswind. So as we land, it's going to need left rudder, right aileron to correct that. Okay, so it's 1 dot above, flaps 2, speed's checked, flaps 2. Landing lights on. Glide slope star, missed approach altitude is 2.5. So that's set. I've queued up the replay for this as well, so if we skid off the runway with the crosswinds, the air crash investigators have got something to rewatch. So I'm expecting that wind to drop though. 5 miles, gear down. Spoilers. Okay, final approach speed, manage speed, flaps 3, speed's checked, flaps 3. How do you think we'll handle the crosswind today? What is that? 25 knot, perfect crosswind. And flaps 4. Nice CDA, no spoilers needed. Landing checklist. Cabin is secured, going altitude is 2,500 feet. Set ECAM memo, landing no blue. Remember, we have got a bit of a nasty crosswind, so we're not bothered too much about the most butterish of landings.
Menorca traffic, Tomjet 93 November, vacate 201.
Mahon traffic easy, 85 Hotel Golf, short final runway 01.
1,000.
Right. I have control. Look at the direction of the runway, then look at the direction of the cockpit. Just got a bit high. Let's get that back down.
500.
Wind starting to drop off. So,
100 above.
4 whites checked. Those lights look high, don't they?
300. Minimum. 200.
Having to fight this quite a bit.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. Retard. 5.
Spoilers, reverse green. Decel. Manual brakes.
Ladies and gentlemen, the cabin crew will shortly be leaving their seats to perform safety-related duties. However, we ask that you remain seated until the fasten seatbelt sign has been switched off. Portable electronic devices for messaging, calls or internet access may now be used. Please make sure that you take all your personal belongings with you, checking in the seat pocket, underneath the seat and in the overhead lockers. Do take care when opening the lockers in case anything falls out. Smoking is not permitted until you reach a designated smoking area. On behalf of the captain and the crew, it has been our pleasure looking after you today. Our ground crew will help you complete your Easyjet journey. For the latest news, promotions, flight and destination information, check out our official Facebook page, Twitter or Easyjet app.
Okay, so actually, I don't think that was... oh, that was too bad. Remember, when you do have a crosswind, it's quite common to land with one wheel down, one side down first. And that's just as you're sort of decrabbing and using the aileron just to maintain that
traffic,
center line.
Air 1 Charlie, ILS 019 miles per hour.
Thank you, Mark, for your support today. Really appreciate that. So, I'm just going to pick the first stand we get to, basically, so we can queue up the replay. Did the landing rate work? Was it any good? I don't get to see that landing rate flash up, as you know. I have to rely on you guys to tell me that. We haven't damaged the aircraft, so that's the main thing. Right, who's that guy? Sat there waiting for us. We've actually parked outside the cargo ops, but that doesn't matter. Passengers can walk. Alright, so we would need to just sit here for the next minute or so because we need to give 3 minutes before we can shut down those engines. APU is obviously already running. So, new boy about 370. Brendan also said 370. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. We'll take that any day of the week. We'll have a look at the replay then now. So obviously I'm not going to shut down the engines because I want to check that replay out. So, welcome to Mahon, everyone. Get to spend the weekend in this beautiful Balearic Island. Let me stop recording. Can I stop recording? Oh, I'm not even sure it recorded it. Oh no, Skydolly had a bit of an issue and didn't record it. Oh, well, that's a shame. Oh, I was hoping to watch that back, but never mind. Oh well, in that case, we'll shut our aircraft down then. So I will put the parking brakes on. That's been 3 minutes. I started that a bit late, so that's going to be fine. Engine 1 shut down. Engine 2 shut down. APU is fine. Sorting that out. We're going to call the MOC. Say, right, come on, we've got something for you to fix. Seatbelt signs come off, beacon light can come off, get those on. Done. Squawk standby 2000. There we go. Recycle the flight directors. Get those off. There we are. Daspel says, missed landing because my family wanted something from me. Can I land again? I wish I could, but Skydolly, for some reason the app didn't work, which was really frustrating. Very rare that gets bugged, isn't it? So I'm not sure what happened there.
Passengers bus is coming.
Beautiful. Oh, that's nice to see. Contrails in the sky. That little things like that really add to the immersion for me. Here's the passenger bus speeding along and getting faster. Oh, just imagine when GSX actually brings out, they said they're going to add actual passengers all the way through, aren't they? How many FPS is that going to hit us with? Never mind. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I do hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, make sure you hit that like button for me. That does make a huge difference. So, thank you so much to everybody that has done that. We're not sure when our next stream will be, as is always the case, but you can join our Discord server, of course, and then you'll be the first to know when we're next going live. Great freeware, not freeware, sorry, this is Payware Airport as well. If you want to check that out. Just realised the landing light is still on. Not the landing light, the taxi light is still on. That'll have annoyed the ground crew. So there we are. So yeah, whatever you're doing this weekend, guys, thank you so much. Huge shout out for those Easyjet Simpilot channel members, as always, for supporting us so well. And yeah, I hope you have a great weekend. Next live stream will always be announced on Discord, as you know. And if you are a channel member, check out Discord in the members lounge for the picture that I put on earlier. Something exciting, and a video coming on that very soon. Have a great weekend, everyone. See you all again on the next flight. Bye bye.